Set 36 years into the future, and Lydia Dietz is hosting a supernatural chat show named Ghost House. Whilst filming a segment for her show, Lydia has visions of Beetlejuice in the audience. Lydia's stepmother tells her about the death of her father, Charles, on the way to the Winter River for a funeral service. The surviving Dietz family members pick up Lydia's daughter Astrid from boarding school. Lydia and Astrid's father, Richard, had divorced 2 years prior to his disappearance. After the funeral services, Rory proposes to Lydia, causing Astrid to run over to see Jeremy before the wedding. Halloween arrives and Astrid finds out that Jeremy is a ghost, and he asks Astrid to help him restore his life, to which she agrees. Jeremy tells Astrid that he can help her reunite with her father. Astrid recites an incantation from the handbook of the recently deceased, and the pair transport to the afterlife. Lydia discovers Jeremy's past, murdering his parents, and realizes that Astrid is in grave danger. Lydia reluctantly brings back Beetlejuice to help her to retrieve Astrid and return her to safety. Lydia commands Jeremy give her back Astrid, and he agrees on one condition, that he can have Astrid's hand in marriage. In doing so, he will be able to transition into the real world and escape the threat of his ex-wife, who is hunting him down in the Afterlife train station, where she attempts to ride the soul train, where her soul will be transported to the beyond, but Lydia and Beetlejuice transport there to stop her. Astrid recites the incantation, so she can switch places with Jeremy, allowing him to go back to living his life. Whilst on the train, Astrid notices that one of the employees at the train station is Richard, and Lydia comes to Astrid's help, but they are transported to one of Saturn's moons, through the emergency exit. On Saturn's moon, the duo encounter a sandworm, but Richard comes to their rescue and he transports them back to the Winter River. Unfortunately, when Jeremy tries to walk across the river into the world of the living, Beetlejuice arrives and sends him to hell, and he then helps Delia transport back to the living world, where she was bitten by a snake, ultimately sending her back to the afterlife. Lydia and Astrid arrive at the church, where Rory is waiting for their
arrival at the altar. Unfortunately, Beetlejuice and Delia arrive soon after, and Beetlejuice injects Rory with a truth serum, where he admits that he only wants to marry Lydia for her money. This makes Lydia angry and she punches Rory, knocking him unconscious. Just as Beetlejuice is about to marry Lydia, Dolores comes and has him cornered. With the aid of the handbook, Astrid sends a sandworm to come,
but Beetlejuice deflects off of it, causing it to eat Dolores and Rory. The ceremony is called off, after Lydia and Astrid reveal that Beetlejuice had violated his own contract and the rules of the handbook. Suddenly, Beetlejuice inflates, blowing up like a balloon, and explodes. Lydia and Astrid then reassure Delia that they still love her, and she crosses over with them. On the platform, Delia reconciles with what is left of Charles, and she boards the soul train to the beyond. A little while later, Lydia films the last segment of her show, before retiring the series in a bid to spend more time with Astrid. The pair travel to Transylvania and to Dracula's castle, where Astrid develops a crush on an employee there named Vlad. Vlad and Astrid get married. Lydia still has nightmares about Beetlejuice, and one of them is of Astrid having his child, causing Lydia to wake up startled.